Greetings, everyone. I have a little bit of a rant to make. Hope you don't mind. As you can see, I have a few Star Wars posters behind me. This one is the Chinese version of the original Star Wars poster, which actually Star Wars poster B, I think it is. I think the Chinese version is much cooler because it's like makes everything enhanced. And then of course here we've also got a poster right here of the three main heroes in the new trilogy. And no, my rant isn't about the new trilogy. My rant's about the EU. Expanded Universe, for those of you who don't know what it is. When Disney purchased Star Wars, they decided to throw out the entire EU. And a lot of people are upset about that. A lot of people are upset about that. And I'm one of them. Many of us are Star Wars purists, I guess you could call us. Star Wars purists. I'm kind of standing catty-cornered here. The EU started all the way back after the first film in about 1978 with Splinter of the Mind's Eye by Alan Dean Foster, which I have a copy of, but it's in storage. Long story. Anyway, I have the original paperback. I don't know if it's the original edition, but I have it. It was originally commissioned as a sequel in case the original film didn't do well. So they commissioned that one as like a lower budget sequel, but then it did do well, so they made Empire, and Splinter of the Mind's Eye became the first EU novel. After that, there were tons of novels and comic books and other films, like TV films like the Ewok adventure movies, which I have not seen and I want to really bad. Because I can't find them. That sucks. Because Lucasfilm kind of wanted to throw them out. But anyway, just like they did with the holiday special. Which they should have done with the holiday special. But anyway, so hundreds and hundreds of expanded universe stories to explain every little detail. Every little character who walks across the screen had a story. And then they created all these other things. They created the future, the past, the interregnum, what was going on at the same time. And of course, then the prequels came along, and there was a whole lot of things they had to retcon and throw out. It was like, oh, we gotta change this. But there was hundreds and hundreds of canon books. And they got a little weird eventually. They started getting into these weird little things happening. There was tons of interesting stories. But a lot of them were, like, really, really good. Like, they carry some really, really great ideas. And many of them were used in the films or made canon just because they were epic. So, by the time Disney bought Lucasfilm, the EU had expanded enough to where in the timeline of the story there was this alien race called the I'm not going to pronounce this right. The Yuvzan Vong, like these entirely organic, where they like used organic armor, organic spaceships, everything was alive. They were like the anti-Borg, pretty much. And they invaded from some other galaxy, came into the Star Wars galaxy, and now like the New Republic, as they're called, had to fight them off, you know? But they never found out what happened. Because after Disney bought Lucasfilm a few years ago, all of that stuff was destroyed, just thrown out, completely thrown out. And it just became legends, as in like, it didn't actually happen, they pretended it happened, or they just told the stories, or whatever. I don't know what the canon thing is. So now the only things that are canon are the things that Disney owns. Which is weird because they own everything. But the movies, the TV shows, and whatever Disney comes up with now is the only thing that's canon. Technically. So, thousands and thousands of years of history gone. Completely gone. And that pisses me off because there were some really, really great stories. Now, Disney keeps realizing that they make mistakes by bringing things that were in the EU back into Star Wars. Like, Thrawn, for example. Grand Admiral Thrawn, the Chiss with the blue skin and the red eyes. You know, he was created by Timothy Zahn for the Hand of Thrawn series, which started coming out in the 80s, I think. I think they were like the second EU stories after sorry, I'm coming up with this all the top of my head. After Splinter of the Mind's Eye and the Brian Delaney Han Solo trilogy, which is worth a check out. I actually have it, but not ready yet. But it's actually worth a read. So the Hand of Thrawn trilogy, which was obviously 3 books, was what brought Thrawn in to the story. But recently in Rebels, I believe, Disney brought him back. So now he is canon. And they keep just slowly adding things that were in the EU, just small things, big things, important things, not so important things, back into the story, because I think maybe they're starting to realize, we made a mistake. Thousands of years of history, and we threw it all out. So anyway. And something in Solo, for example. In Solo, even though it's really not that good of a movie, and Disney Plus doesn't even have Solo. It shows how crappy it is. Anyway. But it has 2 lines of dialogue which bring 2 things in, which I'd like to mention. Aura Singh is a white-skinned bounty hunter with like this thorn thing sticking out of her head. She wears red. She's really cool looking. She was a friend of Han Solo's or Lando Calrissian's or somebody's. So she's mentioned in dialogue in Solo. They also mention in dialogue the martial arts Teräs Käsi. Which was created for a video game called Masters of Teräs Käsi, which the Angry Video Game Nerd reviewed. It's not that good. But, so those 2 things from the EU are now canon. So, I'm thinking that Disney realizes they screwed up and that they are going to start bringing things back. I'm hoping, because there's thousands and thousands of ideas and lives that were written and created that they just threw away. Because the Star Wars character guide and the Star Wars encyclopedia, the original version, the one that's just 1 book, they have all kinds of stuff in them. Great ideas. All I needed to do is just go and look at that. Get a copy of that from Amazon or something. And just leaf through it. And then be like, oh, that sounds interesting. Let's read that book. And go, oh, we can throw that back in there somehow, you know? They should totally do that. And maybe somebody out there is doing that. That's how they put Aura Singh and Teräs Käsi and Thrawn back. So, the point of my rant is that Disney screwed up. And that us as the fans need to join together and tell Disney they screwed up and tell them, hey, look, some of this stuff needs to be canon again. Or we riot. No one's going to see this video. I just wanted to rant a little. And I can't rant to anybody, really, because I'm nobody. But on YouTube, you can be anybody. You know, you can do anything you want. So, check out my Van Gogh. Actually, those are my husband's Van Goghs. Anyway, so, that was my rant about the EU. I don't know if anyone's gonna see this, but if anyone wants to, you know, leave a like or comment, we can discuss it if you see this. So, anyway, so long YouTube. This has been Jade, signing out.